3D Machines here. Today we're changing a slave cylinder in a vehicle. My old slave cylinder was leaking, so I'd lose all my clutch fluid, and then I was about a quarter mile away from home and it finally let go, and then I didn't have any clutch. So here's the new slave cylinder. It was only $25, not very complicated at all. So I already took some penetrating oil, some WD-40, and went under the truck and already lubricated the bolts. We are under the vehicle right now, and there's the slave cylinder. As you can see, 2 bolts hanging onto it. There's one, and there's 2 up there. So I got my wrenches here. We're gonna get loosen these suckers up. The first thing I did was I took a 12mm socket wrench and put it on the head of this brake line, or the clutch line, and took it off. Now make sure not to lose this copper washer on the other end. There's one on each side. Make sure not to lose that. I got the first bolt off the slave cylinder. Now for the second one. That first one was a son of a pup to get off. I had to take the 14mm wrench here, then also take a larger wrench and put it on the end of there for leverage to take it off. So when I put it back on, I'm gonna douse it in WD-40. So there's what we got. We got our old piece of junk, our brand new one, and our bolts. So the first thing I'm gonna do is douse these suckers. And then as you can see, we have our pin in here, and that goes on one way. So I actually pulled it out. It went in just like that. So we're gonna put ours in just like that. So what I've done so far is I got the clutch line started just by screwing it on there lightly, and now I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these 2 bolts down. Got those bolts all tightened up my clutch line. You can't tighten the clutch line first because it gets in the way of your nut here, or your bolt, so you can't do that. Now all I have to do is bleed this thing. So I took my 8mm wrench, took that little cap off, and put my bleeder tool on there, bumped it up to about 15 psi, made sure I had plenty of clutch fluid, and that I had my clutch pedal all the way out. Let the clutch fluid go through all the lines, make sure there's no air, cap that bleeder screw back up, make sure you got plenty of clutch fluid, cap her back on, should be good. So we come into the truck here, and before I had absolutely nothing because I told you it went, and now as you can see it engages right there when we go down. So we're awesome. But if you didn't have that bleeder tool, you can bleed your clutch just like brakes. You know, you let out the screw, push in, tighten the screw back up, and do that all over again, you know, 10 times until all the air is out. Sometimes if your lines are below your clutch fluid container, you can get away with just letting it sit for a little bit with the cap off and letting the air rise, and then that'll reduce the amount of times you have to, you know, bleed it the old-fashioned way. But that's how you change your slave cylinder in your vehicle. I can't see any different brand being too much different than this. We'll see you later. 3D Machines out.